Hey, welcome back to Vice Grip Garage. Today is finally that day. It's here, it's among us. It's right now. We're gonna bolt the Turbo 400 to the Procharged big block, get that thing put into the independent Chevelle and bolt it in for good. I got a mess 2 C's wide. After the last video, I stayed another 74 million hours and just did a couple dozen small things to keep the project on track. I'll show you those really fast, and then we got to prep this big block. A couple things I want to put on it first: starter, oil filter. I don't know, we'll look it over. Before we put it in the car, just makes it a little easier. So let's see, I torquilized that on, pulled the lightning whirler out, sealed everything up. Again, these aren't the valve covers we're going to use. I'm just kind of keeping them on there. Don't want anything falling in. Pull plates on. This is the adjustment we had to make here. Andy actually did this for me, and this is a test run. This is the model of the valve cover we're going to use, but that's not the exact one. That's the notch that I thought we needed. I did this with like a cartoon stick drawing, and I just put like Halloween plus meatloaf equals 9. So hopefully Andy could compute that. And we were like 2/16 of an inch, which I think is 1/8. No, it was less than that. It was like 4 horsetails off. So, you know, I did the right thing. I just took the grinder, Procharged, close your ears. Just took the grinder to the head unit and zip. We got plenty of room. It slides right in there now. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, got this all, that was like a natural color bracket. Got the hardware done as well. Also got this figured out where I need to space that. So there's a little washer in there I had to make basically. This is a test run on piping, but Procharged reached out. Those guys are awesome. They said they might have a couple options. They're sending some stuff over, so we might not have to worry about that. And then over here on the car, this was really cool. It was actually a long time ago. What's the feller's name? David Coleman sent me, well, that's a note. You just have to believe me. He sent me some body mounts like last summer for the Chevelle. Put one in over here, went to replace this one, and it basically just fell apart. This was what was left. The bolt just sheared off, and then all the metal around it was rotten. So I had to cut out and weld in basically a new plate that goes up underneath of here. Pretty much the same I did on the other side, and then got a new body mount in here. So, fellers, if all goes well, we've got 1, 2 new body mounts. I've got 3 and 4. And then the roll cage, that's basically 5 and 6 holding the body on. It just might stay on there. I also came back, spent some time back here. The battery's in. The ground is just strapped right to this rod, which goes right to the frame. And then I've got the positive one in. These are folks that have really helped on the project: Lincoln, Procharged, Comp, Holly, Wire Care. So this, other than fuel level and the pump, is pretty much ready. And then that battery cable is just hanging for now because we got to plumb that up. So anywho, let me throw this starter on quick, and oil filter. I wonder if I should put that fitting in. I'll wait and struggle. And then we can get this up on the cherry picker again. I like to set my transmission on the floor on a little wheeled dolly and have the engine really low and just slide them together. Just makes it really easy. Went with a little mini starter from Summit. It's chrome, shiny, kind of scary. Not because of the high torques, but them GM units work great. They're just so big. And I mean, bigger than J-Lo's assets. Talking finances, guys. Okay, focus. This one fits decent. There's a notch in it over here, but it's still gonna hit the oil holder inner gasket over there. So I'm gonna take this off and trim it just a little bit. Wheen, wheen. Oh yeah, not a Mopar. starter will fit and the new oil leak. Perfect. There, that fits up in there nice and tight, and gonna give us lots of room for the headers here, and then we won't get that heat soak. Well, let's hope anyway. I'm using a Wix racing filter here, and then I'm gonna be running Shell Rotella 1540 heavy duty diesel oil. It's got all the vitamins and minerals, 1200 ppm to be exact, and it's a third, fourth of the price of other comparable oils. If you've got an old car, muscle car, anything with like a flat tappet cam, it's a really great oil for you. Help me up. Got sidetracked. This looks like mud. Well, I guess technically it is. All of that I scraped off of the transmission cross member. I want to get this cleaned up and painted so it's dry by the time we try to slip those in. Of course, I'm using my Cowboys over at Berryman. They've got this B33 engine degreaser, and it's just washing this stuff off. So I'm just gonna spritzer, flipper, spritzer, flipper, spritzer, flipper, spritzer, wiper, painter, done. So this is a Turbo 400 that my buddy Chris over at Harman Performance Transmission built. He's out of New Richmond, Wisconsin. And we actually built it for version 1.0 of the Cat Farm Crew Cab sitting over there. And at that point I had planned a mild LS and a gear vendors. And I didn't want to waste it. He does really good work. So I brought it back to him. He actually ended up just completely disassembling it and making an entirely different Turbo 400 to handle the additional horsepower. So now we've got a 4L80E clutch drum in here. We've got a billet trans brake with reverse shift pattern. So this one's actually park, reverse, neutral, first, second, third. So I'll be pulling backwards for gears. And he's got a bunch of other stuff. I don't know. It was talking and there was words. Sounds really cool. But he knows his stuff. He builds a lot of drag racing transmissions and stuff like this. This is drop-in ready. We've got a little torque converter in here, and I say little by diameter. Should flash to about 3,500, right around there. It's already full of ATF, so I should be able to bolt this up, plop it right in. Let's get the flex plate on here really quick, and then we'll kind of start lining these up a little bit. This is an SFI flex plate, also got that from Summit. And the mounting boss has got to shoot out towards your torque converter. That's going to soak up that little bit of a gap that you have between here and your torque converter, about 1/8 to 3/16. And if you forget, there's a little lip here on the crank side. That lip's got to face back this way too. These are 60 foot-pounds, but I already gave them 3 Ooga Doogas, so we should get a beep immediately. A little bit of extra never hurts anything. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. So this here is already on my transmission Slide-O-Matic Inducer 500. So really all I need to do is just bring this guy down a little bit, and then I'm just gonna transmissionage, engage. Ease it in. Oh, we need a little, just a titch of down. Hip, hip. Whoa. Make sure your torque converter's seated in there. Into your pump. I didn't want to spend 25 bucks on name brand grade 8 hardware, so I just ran down to the Hardmore store and got my own for $1 a piece. And it's not even that I need grade 8, it's just I like the washer flange that they have on the head of them. Just seems to make sense. And just like that. I'm gonna reach in here and just make sure my torque converter still spins, and it does. It shouldn't be bound up against that flex plate. Should just be a tiny bit of room in there. So we're good to go ahead and tighten this up. Put these motor mounts on quick, and then I think we're ready to stab this thing in there. Well, the guy's gone through his checklist about 1.4 times. Cold snacks, engine hoist, check, check. Jessica stopped by, she's over here doing something. Brought a guy supper, that was nice. So I'm fed, I've quenched my thirst. It's time to put this thing in. I got to lift it up just a little bit here. That way a guy can scoot in that engine hoist, and then guy can lift it up real quick and slide forward that transmission cross member thing, bar, holder upper, port thing. And then, it'll hang in there, hopefully. The only concern I have, which I'm going to wait until the very last minute, probably right before we start it up, is do my super extra tall valve covers that have messed everything up so far hit the brake booster. I ordered a smaller one just in case, but doubtful, very. Anyway, I'm procrastinating. Let's get her in. You got like 78 feet left. Hopefully this arm doesn't hit the water neck.
I'm just scared about this snapping.
Oh, that's just a hobo freight lift. We're fine. I mean, it's bending a little bit, but... Oh. We need altitude.
I'm trying.
Okay, why don't you wait there for a minute? Oh. All right. I never named this lift. Let's call it Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Oh, stop.
What happened? Okay, bring her in. Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you how to bring this down.
I don't want to.
See this vice grip? Just ease her counterclockwise.
You're seeing how I lower things.
Yeah, you don't really
Don't
ease.
mess around.
A little more ease. I'm gonna bind my arm in here. Downage. Inage. Come on back. Come back to me. Get out of there. I've been on fire in that 3 times. I gotta keep it. All right, so now I think we just go downage a little bit. Whoa, easy. Pulled Jessica. My plan is, I don't have one, but this needs to go in there.
Okay.
So just hold it in there. Make sure to get your arm in a pinch point.
Not even close.
This little bugger. This one's been a fight. Usually I could slip these right in, but these long boat motor mounts, wherever I got them, even though they came as a pair, they don't even, I should have checked that first. So I had to use a punch, waller them out, had to get a pry bar in here, and I don't like doing it, but I just took the Tanya and sent her home. It's tough on the threads on the other side, but I don't got an option. Now that I got the drinker side in, I can lift her up with a hoist as far as I can go and just let her down. And that ought to seat it. My air hose coupling broke, so I can't use my air jack underneath. I got what do I got into there? Some sort of Harbor Freight jack. But that was my whole plan, doing it this way. Having that air jack under the transmission, I could easily just adjust her around. Bring her down! Ooh, one more time, I think we got it. Bring it! There we go. Listen, I've bought some junk in my day, fellers. I mean, I've put stuff on vehicles that you would just hide your eyes and pretend you didn't see it. But these motor mounts, I have no words. Remember that $12 in free shipping that I saved? I would pay 6x to just have a nice set to put in. Hi, my name's Dr. Make It Work. Well, that's weird. We seem to be aligned all of a sudden. Huh. Probably about 13.7% chance that this nut's even going to catch on this bolt, but that's fine. There's more bolts. Beep, beep. Oh, she locked down. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, so it turns out guy's just gonna have to make his own threads, but I'm used to that. What have we got over here? Same story. The old fingers are just pinched into the steering rod. Oh, still got them. It's fine. Mounts are done. Is my valve cover going to fit back here? Nope. What about over here, you ask? Nope. Is this gear shift already hitting? Yep. So, I mean, this is all good. Basically, we're going to pretend we didn't see any of that. Let's lift her up and get the transmission cross member at least kind of ish in. This is going to hold it just fine, so we could take her all the way to the 10th floor. That sure cleaned up a lot better. We should just be able to slide her back, Chevy was smart enough just to pop all these holes in here. So depending on your transmission, you just slide it forward and backwards. And if a guy does like a 4L something or other, you can even flip these around or cut the tab off, just throw it on the back and pretty much make any transmission work. But I got this one to where it just sits like this, holding the weight. And normally, like I say, I'd use my air jack, but my air coupling is bent, not working. So what I'm gonna do is the right thing and just take that drip tray that's rated for drips, and I'm gonna lay my jack in there sideways and use that as a bridge to get this up so we can put the mount on. Luckily, Wildfire, I mean, they build everything just like, it's just an absolute tank, including what they call their drip tray, but I mean, clearly, I think we're gonna be just fine. Yep. Oh yeah. Like it was made for it. Oh. Listen, if it works, is it really a dumb idea? So new trans mounts in. These bolts are loose so I can get, and then these are also loose here so I can get front or backer. But thank you, GM, for this. That's nice. Got both sides just loosely bolted in there. No modifications needed. That'll be just fine. And then up here, this oil pan does fit from Summit, if you're curious or had any questions on that. Aren't you a hefty feller? Well, another long day, but it's in. Big block and transmission are home. Now things are really gonna start moving around here. Coming up very, very quick. We got the whole front clip to assemble. We've got the standard OEM electrical to do because there's not a wire in the car. So bumper to bumper, and then on top of that, we've got all of the EFI wiring and digital gauges, and then we'll start finishing up the fuel system and you name it. I'm gonna try to break it up as much as I can, but there's still a lot to do, but we only have about 2 weeks left to do it. So thanks guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, keep a greasy side down.